Hello students, we are doing chemistry, and in chemistry the chapter which we are doing is chemical bonding. This is part 2 video. As you have already done in part 1 that what are the basic bonds, you have also done that what is actually an ionic bond, and we also attempted few questions on it. So let's see what we are going to do in this part 2. We are going to focus on covalent bond in this video. So what is covalent bond? So as you know that ionic bond is a bond which is formed by transfer of electrons. That is, it is formed between a metal and a non-metal. One is losing electron and the other is accepting electron. Likewise, if we talk about covalent bond, this bond is formed between a non-metal and a non-metal. Like ionic bond is formed between metal and a non-metal, because in that bond one is going to lose electron, another is going to accept electron. In this, the bond is formed by sharing of electrons between the atoms. And we know that metals can always lose, right? So if we talk about sharing, it can be done only by the non-metals. So this is a mutual sharing that is done between a non-metal and a non-metal. For example, let's say if we need to form a bond between a hydrogen atoms, we know that when hydrogen atoms will combine, they will unite to form a hydrogen molecule. We also know that the atomic number for hydrogen is 1, and for this hydrogen also obviously it is 1. And if we talk about its electronic configuration, then also the electronic configuration is 1. And we know that like in other atoms we obey the octet rule, that is tendency to attain 8 electrons in outermost shell. But when we talk about hydrogen and helium, they follow the duplet rule. That is, they just need 2 electrons in its first shell, because they are having only one shell, that is the K shell. And we know that the minimum electrons that can be accommodated in K shell is 2. So they obey the duplet rule. So now in this case, we are talking about hydrogen. It already possesses 1 electron. So in order to attain stability, these both hydrogen atom needs 1 more electron. And as we know that like both are acceptors, so what they will do is they will share the electrons between them. That is, they will mutually share the electrons. So let's see that how we are going to form this covalent bond, or how we are going to show the bonding between these atoms. So like this, we know that hydrogen, we'll write 2 hydrogens like this. We know that the electronic configuration is 1. So that is the 1 electron is going to participate. I'm going to put this electron as a dot in middle of these atoms. So that means this is the valence electron for this hydrogen. Similarly, I can put the valence electron for this hydrogen as well. So let's see that this is a valence electron for this hydrogen. While combining, both of them is contributing the same number of electrons, and those electrons will form a shared pair. So this is contributing 1 electron and this is also contributing 1 electron, and we need to put them in middle of them. So now this hydrogen has its own 1 electron and it is sharing this electron of other hydrogen atom. Similarly, this hydrogen has its 1 electron and is mutually sharing the other electron of other hydrogen atom. So this is how you need to show the bond. And these electrons which are written in the middle, they form the mutually shared pair of electron. So this is a shared pair of electron. So how many pairs are shared between them? Obviously, as you can see that only 1 and 1 is contributed by both the hydrogen atoms. That is, in this case, there is only 1 shared pair of electron. And this bond is called as covalent bond. And this is the, you can say, the dot representation showing the covalent bond. You can simply put the line also when this kind of bond is formed in order to indicate a molecule. So this is how you can show that this one line specifies that one electron is contributed by this hydrogen and one electron is contributed by this hydrogen, and this line shows the linkage. So this is what is covalent bond. So it is must that it is formed between a non-metal and a non-metal, because both of them cannot donate electron. So the method left for them in order to combine is just the mutual sharing. This is what they are doing, as you saw in hydrogen. So in this basic figure, these lines are indicating the covalent bond. Now, like in this case, we have put one line, but in this figure you can see three lines. So yes, you are right. The covalent bond is not always compulsory that it will form only one shared pair. It may have two or three shared pair, and depending upon that, the bond can be double or triple covalent bond. So types of covalent bond which do exist can be single covalent bond, it can be double covalent bond, it can be triple covalent bond. So if there is one shared pair of electron, then it is single covalent bond. Like one is contributed by this and one is this, and this is a single covalent bond. But if there are two shared pair of electrons, that is, two electrons are contributed by each atom, each combining atom. So this is a double covalent bond. And if there are three shared pair of electrons, then there will be three lines indicating triple covalent bond. Now in this case, you can see that we have two oxygen atoms and they are just uniting to form an oxygen molecule. And the bond, or you can say the line which shows the bond between the oxygen atom, are two in number, because they are contributing two electrons. Like, or you can say two electrons are contributed by each oxygen atom, and this gives rise to the double covalent bond between atoms of oxygen molecule. So let's see that how these single, double and triple covalent bonds are formed. Now let's study about single covalent bond. See, single covalent bond, that means the contributing atoms are contributing only one electron. That is, one electron is contributed by each atom which is combining, right? So we can say that it is formed by sharing of one pair of electrons between two atoms. That is, they have one shared pair of electrons. They have one shared pair of electrons. So as we did for hydrogen, you saw that each hydrogen was contributing one electron, and this is how you're going to show that how they are mutually sharing. Or you can also represent like this. After showing this structure, you can represent like a line also. But it is always good to explain the covalent bonding by showing these dot structures and making these electron clouds and then replacing them with a line. Similarly, we'll take another example. You can see here we have hydrogen and chlorine. We know that hydrogen and chlorine react to form hydrogen chloride. So first see how you are gonna make out that which kind of bonding they are forming. See, you'll, like, if you get a question like HCl or any other, let's see that how we are going to make out the type of bonding which will be present. See, hydrogen, the atomic number is 1. You are going to write about the atomic number first. And for chlorine, it is 70. And if we write the electronic configuration, this is 1. And for chlorine, it is 287. Now, this is 1, right? We know that the elements with valence electron 1, 2, 3, they are regarded as metals. But hydrogen is an exception, because here hydrogen is not going to lose its electron. it will accept one electron in order to attain the duplet rule. So in this case, so that means we can regard it as a non-metal because it is going to accept an electron. Now here the chlorine has 7 electron in valence shell. So that means it is also going to accept 1 electron. So that means this is also a non-metal. So non-metal, we know the type of bonding between two non-metals, that is covalent bond. So this is how you're going to make out that what type of bonding is present between the combining atoms. So let's say if you get two questions, that one is NaCl, another is HCl, and somebody asks you to find out the nature of bonding between the two. So as you can see the chemical formula, they both resemble each other in chemical formula, but the type of bonding is different. And you can come across the type of bonding only if you write the atomic numbers, if you write the configuration, then only you will come to know that whether they will have an ease to accept electron or donate electron or share electron. Right? In this case, sodium is a metal and chlorine is a non-metal. So obviously the type of bond they will be forming will be ionic. And for HCl, hydrogen is a non-metal because it is going to accept one electron in order to attain the duplet. And chlorine is again a non-metal because it also needs one electron. So non-metal, that specifies that the bond is going to be covalent. So this is how you're going to make out that what type of bonding is present between any molecules which are given. So I think you got it. So see how we are going to form a bond between H and Cl. You need to write the combining atoms first, right? Then you need to write their valence electrons which they need to contribute, or you can say mutually share. So hydrogen has one electron and it is going to mutually share or offer this electron to chlorine. Chlorine possesses 7 electrons. We can put the dots of chlorine like this, and we'll be putting this one electron in the middle because it is going to contribute one electron. So we'll put like this. I'm using dots. You can use the cross as well. So hydrogen has its one electron and it will share the electron of chlorine. Chlorine already possesses 7 electrons and it will share the 1 electron of hydrogen. So that means this is a shared pair. So we can also indicate as HCl. So this is how you're going to show the single covalent bond formation in any molecule. Second, we have double covalent bond. Double covalent bond specifies that the bond is formed by sharing of two pairs of electrons between two atoms. Or you can say that in this case, we are going to have two shared pair of electrons. We are going to have two shared pair of electrons. Let's take an example. As you can see in the figure, we have an oxygen molecule and there are two bonds present. So let's make out. So let's say we have two oxygen and they will combine to form a oxygen molecule. Now, if we write the atomic numbers, because the first step is always to write the atomic numbers. We know the atomic number for oxygen is 8. And if we write it, the electronic configuration, it is 2, 6. That means both the oxygen needs 2 electrons. So non-metal, non-metal, and what will be the type of bond? It is going to be covalent bond. So let's write both combining oxygen atoms, and we need to distribute these 6 electrons like this, that the number of electrons which they actually want should be electrons which it will offer to the another atom. So we have to put the dots like this, 2 dots in the middle because it is contributing this 2 electrons in a shared pair. Similarly for other oxygen also we'll put like this. So this oxygen has its own 6 electrons and 2 it will share the electrons of other combining oxygen atom. Similarly, this will do the same. It will do the same, that 6 electrons it already possesses and 2 it is accepting from the other, accepting, or you can say it is mutually sharing from the other oxygen atom. So this is the bond, and how many electrons you can see that which they are mutually shared. So they are two in number, so we can replace it by 2 lines. So this is how we are gonna show the double bond between the oxygen atom or any other atoms of a molecule. Third, we have triple bond. Triple bond is formed by sharing of 3 pairs of electrons between 2 atoms. That is, in this case, there will be 3 shared pair of electrons. There will be 3 shared pair of electrons. As you can see in the figure, we do have molecules that possess the 3 pairs. Let's take an example. Suppose if nitrogen and nitrogen combine, they form nitrogen molecule. If we write their atomic numbers, so atomic number of nitrogen is 7. If we write its electronic configuration, it is going to be 2, 5. Both of them needs 3 more electrons in order to complete their octet. So they will contribute their 3 electrons and will form a molecule. So let's write the nitrogen and let's arrange these 5 electrons in such a way that the number of electrons they actually want will be electrons put in the middle in order to form a shared pair. So let's put like this, 3 and 2. Similarly here 3 and 2. So this nitrogen possesses 5 electrons and 3 it is sharing from the other atom. Similarly, this nitrogen possesses 5 and 3 it is sharing with the other nitrogen atom. So this gives rise to a nitrogen molecule, and you can see that there are 3 shared pair, so it can be indicated like this also. So this is how the triple bond is formed. So I think you got it, that how we are going to form a single covalent bond, the double covalent bond and the triple covalent bond. Let's try a few more examples. Let's take carbon dioxide. We know that the formula for carbon dioxide is CO2. So let's write the combining atoms first. So I'll arrange these atoms like this is a central atom. So I'm going to put this carbon in the middle, and I'm going to arrange these 2 oxygen atoms at extreme corners in this kind of geometry. This kind of geometry is called as linear geometry because it will form a line-like structure. So now we know that the atomic number for carbon is 6 and configuration is 2, 4. And for oxygen the atomic number is 8 and configuration is 2, 6. Similarly here the configuration is 2, 6. So we know that each oxygen atom possesses 6 electrons and they need 2 more. So I am going to arrange these electrons in such a way that the number of electrons they want or they want to mutually share are put in the middle. Similarly for this oxygen also, we are going to arrange the valence electrons like this. Now it has 4 electrons and it needs 4 more. So it is going to share equally these electrons with these 2 oxygen atoms. So I am going to arrange the 4 electrons like this, because 2 it is contributing with this oxygen, because this oxygen also needs 2 and this carbon also needs 2 from this oxygen and 2 electrons from this oxygen, right? So let's table the oxygen first. It is 6 already it possesses and 2 it is sharing from the carbon atom. So this is how the oxygen becomes stable and achieve its octet. Similarly in this case 6 electrons, 2 more, and it forms the stable oxygen atom. Now this carbon already possesses 4 electrons and it will share 2 electrons from each oxygen atom which is participating in this molecule formation. Now you can see that both the oxygen atoms has attained the octet, and even the carbon has attained the 8 electrons, that is the octet. That means this molecule is stable now. So this is how you're going to show the bond formation. And now we can replace these dots by the shared pair lines also. So as you can see, there are two shared pair. So I can draw double covalent bond with this oxygen. Similarly, we see a double covalent bond on this side also. So this is how the structure is formed. So I think you got it. And this geometry is somehow called as linear. Another example is of methane. The formula for methane is CH4. That is, the combining atoms are one atom of carbon and 4 atoms of hydrogen. So let's arrange them in a specific geometry. We have one carbon, so I'm going to write in middle. We have 4 hydrogen. So we are going to arrange these hydrogens in such a way that they surround the carbon. Now, if we write the atomic number, we know that each hydrogen has 1 electron and even the electronic configuration is 1. And it needs 1 more electron in order to attain the duplet. So let's write 1 electron, because 1 electron this hydrogen will be contributing towards the carbon. Now the carbon has 6 electrons. That means the electronic configuration is 2, 4. It needs 4 more electron in order to attain the octet. So it will be contributing 4 electron towards these 4 hydrogen. So it will equally distribute. Let's represent by the help of crosses. So I am representing these 4 electrons which it is contributing towards all these hydrogen atoms. Now each hydrogen atom will share this 1 electron of carbon and it will attain its duplet, right? So this is how all 4 hydrogens become stable. Now this carbon already possesses 4 electrons and 4 it will share with hydrogen like this, 1 electron each from each combining hydrogen. So in this way the bond is formed. Now we can replace the shared pair by the lines. As you can see that there is 1 shared pair in each case. So I can represent it like this. So this is how methane is formed, and the geometry which is formed is tetrahedral. You don't need to write the geometry. This is just for your knowledge sake that I am writing. So this is how the methane molecule is formed. Third example we have is for ethane. The formula for ethane is C2H6. So let's arrange them in a proper manner. We have 2 carbons. Let us distribute these hydrogens equally among these carbon. So we have 6, that means 3 surrounding each carbon atom. So 3 hydrogens are present, or you can say distributed among each carbon atom like this. Now we know that atomic number of hydrogen is 1, even the electronic configuration is 1, and it needs 1 more electron in order to attain the duplet. So let's arrange this 1 electron of each hydrogen which it will contribute towards the bond. Now carbon has 6 electrons, that is the configuration is 2, 4. So let's arrange these 4 electrons. So 1 it will contribute to this hydrogen, 1 here and 1 here, and 1 which is left is written in the middle because it has to contribute something to this carbon also. Similarly for this carbon we can write like this. So this is how we are going to show the electron distribution. Now this hydrogen will become stable. It will share the electron with carbon. This hydrogen will become stable. Similarly this. Similarly this. We can put the dots like this, or you can show the electron clouds like this. Now each carbon atom possess 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 it will get from these hydrogens. So that means if I am drawing for this carbon, so this is already 2, 4, 5, 6. 1 is 7 and 1 it will contribute, 1 it will share from this carbon. Similarly, this carbon will have the 6 electrons and 1 it is going to mutually share with this combining carbon. So this gives rise to a bond. You can see that this kind of bond is formed. So this is how you're going to form ethane, or we can represent like this. This is how the structure is formed, or you can say the bond formation take place by mutually sharing of electrons. So this is how the ethane is formed. Now let's do for ethene. The formula for ethene is C2H4. So let's distribute the hydrogen among these 2 carbon atoms. So we have 2 carbon atoms. Let us equally distribute these hydrogens. So that means 2 hydrogens for each carbon. Similarly, we are going to put the electron contribution of hydrogen, and similarly for carbon we know that it has 4 electrons. So 1 pointing this hydrogen, 1 towards this hydrogen and 2 are left. So these electrons are written in the middle. So similarly in this case you can write like this. Now these hydrogen are retaining the duplet by mutually sharing the electrons with the carbon atom like this. Now in order to stabilize this carbon atom, what it will do, it already possesses 4 electrons. 2 it will share these hydrogens and 2 electrons are contributed by this carbon atom. Similarly, 4 electrons of carbon and 2 electrons of hydrogen, and 2 it is mutually sharing with this carbon atom. So this gives rise to a bond formation in ethene. You can replace the dots or the crosses by the bond lines. So this is how you're going to show that how the ethene is formed, or how they are sharing the electrons. So this is how the bond is formed. Now let's do another example, that is ethanol. Ethanol is C2H5OH. Let's arrange these atoms. So we have 2 carbons, we have 5 hydrogens, and 5 hydrogens are arranged in this manner, right? We have ONH. So this is how we are going to arrange these atoms. Now let's write their valence electrons. Hydrogen possess 1 valence electron, which it will be contributing in this bond. And so I have put the valence electron for all the hydrogens. Now let us put for carbon. Carbon has 4 valence electron, which it will arrange like this. Similarly, this carbon will arrange like this. And the oxygen possesses 6 electrons. So it needs 2 more. So that means 1 electron it will contribute towards the carbon, 1 towards this hydrogen, and the leftover will be written like this. Right, so we are going to arrange the oxygen electrons like this. Now let's form an electron cloud. This hydrogen after sharing becomes stable. Even this hydrogen has attained the duplet by sharing. This is also stable. This also becomes stable, and this is also stable, and even this is sharing and becomes stable. So all the hydrogens are stable now. So now let us stabilize the carbon and oxygen. So carbon already possesses 4 electrons, and this is how it is sharing and attaining the stability. Similarly, this carbon is sharing like this and attaining the stability. Now we are left with oxygen. So oxygen already possesses 6 electrons. You can see that 2, 2 and 2, that is 6. So it will share 1 electron of this carbon and 1 with this hydrogen. So this is how the bond is formed. Now we can replace the dots or the crosses by the bond lines. So you can see that there is one bond. So I'm putting one bond between them, and there is one shared pair between these hydrogens. So let us put like this. Similarly, in this case, we see that there are two hydrogens directly linked. Now there is one single bond towards O and again one bond towards H. You may write these two electrons which are left like this. So this is how the bond formed in ethanol. And you can see that these electrons are not directly taking part in the bond formation. So the electrons which are left or which do not directly take part in bond formation are called as lone pairs. So in this case, you can see two lone pairs on oxygen atom. Otherwise, all the electrons of all the combining atoms are just used in forming the bond. So they are called as bond pairs. So we can just define it that the electrons which directly participate in bond formation are called bond pairs, like we did for more compounds. And for this, we saw that there are two electrons left which are not participating directly in bond formation. They are regarded as lone pairs. Let's take another example for water. Water is H2O. Let's arrange the atoms, one oxygen and two hydrogens. Right. So let us put their valence electrons. Similarly, for oxygen, we know that it possesses 6 valence electrons. So I'm going to arrange like this. So these hydrogen will share the electron and will become stable. Similarly, this oxygen already possesses 6 electrons. It will share 1 electron from each combining hydrogen atom and will form a bond like this. So we can indicate by bond lines. One oxygen, this is the single covalent bond. This is also a single covalent bond. So two bond pairs, and these electrons are left unbonded. So that means this indicates the lone pair. So this is how you're going to represent the hydrogen. And it has a specific geometry. The geometry is called as bent or angular geometry. See, I have not drawn the structure like this, like I did for carbon dioxide. But in this case, we are drawing like this. The reason being, there are certain repulsions between the electron pairs. As you can see that it possesses the bond pairs also, it possesses the lone pairs also. So there are somehow repulsions between them which distort the geometry, and instead of becoming linear, it gets distorted and it forms bent or angular kind of geometry. Let's take one more example, that is for ammonia. Ammonia is NH3. Let's arrange the atoms, one N and 3 hydrogens. You're going to place like this as I am placing in this example. Let's write the valence electron for each hydrogen. Now, we know that atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Electronic configuration is 2,5. That means nitrogen needs to have 3 more electrons so that it will mutually share with these combining hydrogen atoms, and it will arrange its valence electron in the same manner. So, one electron it is contributing, each electron is being contributed towards each hydrogen, and 2 are left, we are indicating like this. So this hydrogen becomes stable after sharing. Similarly, this becomes stable. Similarly, this becomes stable. And nitrogen already possesses its 5 electron. It will share 1 electron each from 3 combining hydrogen atom, and the bond form will be like this. So we can show the structure by drawing the bond lines. So this is how you're going to indicate the structure. And these 2 electrons contribute in lone pair. So this is shown by this. Please keep one thing in mind, that you can put the crosses also in order to represent the valence electron. You may put dots also. So there is no specific rules for using the dot or the crosses. You can use any of it. And here also you have seen that this geometry is having a certain specific shape. Yes, this is a pyramidal geometry. Again, it is due to the repulsion between the lone pair and the bond pairs that the geometry is having a specified shape, that is pyramid. Now let's do few question and answers to see that how much knowledge you have gained till now. So the first question is, draw the structure of carbon tetrachloride and methane. We know that carbon tetrachloride is CCl4 and methane is CH4. So in this, the both will form the same bond, that is the covalent bond. See how you will make out. We know that carbon possesses 6 electrons and chlorine possesses 17. So if we'll write the electronic configuration, you will see that both are non-metals. So they will form covalent bond. Similarly, again, carbon is a non-metal and even the hydrogen is a non-metal. So if we talk about the structure and show the bonding accordingly as we did for other compounds, the structure will be somehow like this. CCl4. A tetrahedral structure. I'll just write the geometry is tetrahedral. In the same way, it is being drawn as we did the other structures. Similarly, if you'll draw for methane, it is going to have a same structure like this, that is a tetrahedral geometry. So I think you know now that how we are going to draw here. Next question is, pick the compound with double covalent bond. Ammonia. Ammonia is somehow like this, NH3. So it is not having any double bond. So this is not the correct option. Methane we know is CH4. Again we know the structure is like this. Again there is no double bond. So this is also an incorrect option. Nitrogen molecule, we know that each nitrogen needs 3 more electrons. So obviously it will form a structure like this. There will be 3 shared pair. So that means again this is an incorrect option. But if we talk about oxygen molecule, we know that oxygen possesses 6 electrons and each oxygen need to acquire the octet by contributing 2 electrons in the bond formation, and it will give rise to a double bond between atoms of oxygen molecule. So oxygen molecule is a correct option. Next question we have is, pick covalent compound. Like out of these options, which is a covalent compound? One is sodium chloride, that is NaCl. We know that Na is metal, Cl is non-metal. We can just make out by writing their configuration. For sodium it is 11, that is 281. For chlorine the atomic number is 17, that is 287. So this is a metal because it is possessing 1 electron, and this is a non-metal because it has the 7 electron. So they will have the ionic bond between them. So that means this is the incorrect option. Lead chloride. Similarly, lead chloride is PbCl2. Again, this is metal and this is non-metal. So this is also a incorrect option. Zinc chloride. This is Zn and Cl. We know that their valency is like this. That is the reason that they are forming the bond like this. And again, this is an ionic compound because both are metal and because they are metal and a non-metal. But if we talk about carbon tetrachloride, in this both the combining atoms are non-metals, and we know that non-metals always unite by covalent bond and they will form a covalent compound. So this is the correct option. Thank you for watching this video, and for more learning experience you can visit www.vosserax.com.